and the squid hits the rod tip on the hook. The weight's still hanging on the hook. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? And then Harry goes, there it is, bro. He just points to the outboard. And there's this like sea monster sitting by the outboard, attacking the outboard. And the bait schools that are there now, I've never seen them there in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the tunas have just arrived. The tunas have only arrived because their mates arrived. Yeah, you got to be finding them. So there are keys to finding them too.
You know, if someone's planning a trip out, is the things they should be looking for to actually get out and know they're going to find fish?
To find like marlin.
Yeah.
Striped marlin are an interesting one because like once they're here, they can live in pretty average water. Just like simplifying it into one simple system. Yeah. Having all the gear the same, all the rods, the reels.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The lures stay in the same place every day. Yeah. And it's creating like a consistency.
G'day everyone, I'm Nick Hoyle and welcome back to Get the Net. And in this episode, we caught up with Luke Davis. A lot of you guys will know Luke from Instagram, and oh man, Luke has caught everything. You name it, he is the jack of all trades. Whether it's stray lining, soft baiting, catching kingies, right the way through to game fishing. Now this episode particularly is our second one in the game fishing series. So we've focused really on Luke's knowledge around yellowfin tuna on topwater, and we did a deep dive into marlin, catching them. He loves catching them on light gauge hooks, and we also had a chat about a broadbill swordfish that he caught that went 360 kilos out from Whangaroa. I know you're going to love this one, and we'll see you at the end. Get the Net, tight lines, loose lips. Welcome to Get the Net, the Kiwi fishing podcast where the yarns are as wild as the waters we fish. Hosted by Nick, a self-professed multiple-time member of the Caught Bugger All Fishing Club. This show dives into epic stories, top tactics, and the must-have gear from New Zealand's best fishers. Each episode, we chat with legendary anglers about their most insane catches, the techniques they swear by, and the gear they can't live without. Whether you're chasing marlin offshore, flicking soft baits in the shallows, or just keen to learn from the pros, this is the place for real fishing talk. No gatekeeping, just good banter, expert tips, and the odd fishing fail. So grab a cold one, get the net, and let's talk fishing. Yeah, boy! We got a marlin on! Yeah, right, team. Before we get stuck into today's episode, we've got to give a massive shout out to the lads over at Admiral Boats NZ. They're getting behind the podcast, which means more epic yarns and great content coming your way. These lads are building some seriously tidy rigs, strong, sleek, and made right here in Hamilton for proper Kiwi conditions. Whether you're soft baiting the shallows, diving for a feed, or heading out wide on a marlin mission, these boats can handle a lot. Go check them out at admiralboatsnz.com and see what they're up to. Admiral Boats, proper Kiwi craftsmanship and no shortcuts.
We're the shit, isn't it?
Not today.
Yeah, it's been a hard watch, mate, the last 2 weeks. So with everyone going, and I've had to turn down a few trips, which is...
Yeah, it looks like there's bad weather coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, today's been mean.
Yeah. I think we should try and get that up a little bit. So if you left and then that's probably...
You reckon about there?
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
That's good. I don't know, man. The yellowfin for me is like, I just want to make it happen. I missed on it last year.
I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty tempted. If it happens this afternoon, I'll probably drive to Whakatane and fish the last 5 hours of the day.
Yeah. So what time would you work till here?
I'm going to work till about 9.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty sweet then. An hour doing a podcast and then work for an hour.
Wow, it's the last day fishable and the swell's meant to drop and the tide's like 1 p.m.
Yeah. So your bite
at 1. I'll just fucking go for the afternoon.
Nice.
Well, after fished on Sunday and like our action didn't start till 10, and then from 10 till 2 we had yellowfin busting the entire time, running back in, got about 2/3 of the way home in 45 meters, found more yellowfin busting on the way back in 45 meters, caught a couple more, and basically for 5 hours we had busting yellowfin the entire day once we found them.
Yeah, that's pretty wicked.
And the afternoon seems to be better than the mornings. So the afternoons seem to be
45 meter mark, like that's
right there.
Yeah. Easy.
We're running back in, and I was getting to the point I was like, man, there's a lot of birds around. I was like, there's gannets flying around, there's heaps of brown birds just boosting around. I was like, man, this looks so fishy. And as I was about to say it, this yellowfin jumps out in front of the boat. And it was like, and then there's this whole bust up. I was like, oh, there they are.
That's great.
Yeah, it's so cool, man. It's unlike well, obviously I'm not old enough to remember the good old days because they kind of ended when I was a bit old, when I finally got old enough. But it sounds like it's like the good old days.
Yeah.
It's mental. Yeah, everyone back at the ramp, bro. We're back at the ramp at 3 p.m. and there's like a queue of boats retrieving. There's
And
5
all
boats
pinned out.
weighing yellowfin. Everyone's like happy walking around. Everyone's wrapped because they've all caught a heap of fish.
So, I want to ask you a question on that, but just to start, if you can just down that barrel at number 1, introduce yourself.
So
and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. So my name's Luke Davis. I've been fishing since as old as I can remember. Currently work at Yeehaa Fishing. Worked here for the last 15 years. And we also have another business, Precision Angling, which we import and distribute fishing gear as well. So
Nice. Yeah, and I think you know, pretty well known on Instagram for your
fishing.
You're fishing at the minute. You're certainly out there. Fishing as
do a lot of fishing
often as you can, and you're getting the results. So
yeah.
And so you know, like today we're going to dive into game fishing a little bit.
Yeah. That's one of my main ones that I kind of do everything. I'm a little bit stuck where I am a jack of all trades.
Yeah, you stray line, you live bait, you
soft bait, stick bait. I do it everything, but definitely one of the main hobbies is game fishing, marlin fishing, sword fishing, tuna. You know that. So it's it's definitely fun.
That's great. Yeah. So we're just talking about yellowfin there, and do you think that some of these international controls around outside of New Zealand waters have started to work? Is that who knows?
I'd have no idea, man.
Yeah.
It's because there was a couple of years, like 10 years ago, there was a little run there for a year or two, and they came back. I remember fishing the 9-pin trench one year at Christmas, and everyone was catching them. We caught a whole bunch of them, and then it kind of died again, and now it's come back the last couple of years. But it'd be so hard to put your finger on what it could be. You know, like it could be a whole mixture of things. Could be the COVID thing, could be some commercial pressure relax somewhere, could be some current.
The old global warming's doing the piece, mate.
I'm going to run with it though. No matter what, it's we're going to take advantage of it because it's so cool, and that topwater fishing is so accessible. Down that way. And there'll be other places where it's as good as that too. But the old whakatane days of yellowfin fishing, it's back.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty wicked. Yeah. So, because game fishing is such a wide topic.
It is, and now it's 12 months of the year too.
Yeah, New Zealand, right? We're so lucky, hey.
It's gone from being like a 4-month thing, which is, it's good and bad because it's like back in the day it used to be I'd marlin fish for summer. I'd be like, cool, that's ended. I'll go target kingies during the winter or snappers, and then you'd do spring. But now it's like marlin all summer. And then you get to winter and it's southern bluefin, and then you get to spring and it's Pacific bluefin, and then it's like coming into summer it's yellowfin. Now there's no end.
And you sort of in between you've got those pesky kingfish taking your baits.
That bluefin fishery was pretty cool, man.
Yeah. Well, that's I mean, you tagged a 200 kilo estimated 200 kilo one just 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. I ended up doing quite a few more days after that. I ended up doing 8 days this season trying for them. I think we probably had 3 others on that we pulled the hook on, and then had that one on the first day, which was
pretty wild.
Yeah, it was cool, man. It was we turned up, and within like 10 minutes of being there, my mates are actually just stick baiting around the bait schools while we're trying to catch some baits, and just all these tunas just started coming out in front of the boat. Ran over, nothing from those ones, caught a bait, and then about 2 hours later we had them busting again. Ran straight into where they were, dumped the bait. As we dumped the bait, reel went off. I was like, we're on here, boys. Push the drag up, kingy.
Oh, no.
De-hooked that thing as fast as I could, threw that thing over the side, quickly got another bait, and then about 5 minutes later, hooked up to it. And we tagged it in like 17 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty quick,
with me as the angler. And then my mate had the leader, tagged it, and I was trying to get the boat, like trying to get him swimming so we could like walk him along, get a nice photo, and it starts wigging, and then he let it go, and then I fought it for another 17 minutes and caught it.
Yeah, right. 35 minutes.
Yeah.
That's pretty quick though for those northerns, or Pacific bluefin.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are
I think I got
hours
pretty lucky
on them.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky on that one. I think we kept them in pretty shallow water, like we're in 35 meters, and he probably just didn't have the depth, like he probably
couldn't run on you.
Yeah, and like I don't know if there's something with it. There's no thermocline or any cold water for him to go sit in or anything. Like he couldn't get comfortable, so he's just boosting around in shallow water. With a lot of drag. We're fishing 130 pound, so we had a lot of drag on him right from the get go. So that might have. I don't know, or I just got incredibly
lucky.
Or looking at the size of me, I'm just so
jacked, yeah.
strong. Yeah. That's what everyone keeps saying to me. Everyone's like, man, you thought that it was such a quick fight. You know, what was wrong with the fish?
Yeah.
I was like, nah, good angler.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry guys, stop trying to take it away from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I just got lucky. There might be something to do with it. A lot of the guys that I know that caught them, that kept them in the shallow water,
They got them
definitely
up.
helped quick.
But if they get out deep, though.
Yeah, seemed to be that they were, once the guys got them once they got out of the bay, that seemed to extend the fights quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, who knows?
Yeah. It's pretty cool, though, just to be able to go out and.
Oh, and we're like 10, 15 minutes from the boat ramp, and you're catching 200 kilo animals.
Unreal.
And the last trip I went, they were probably busting in like 10 meters of water against the rocks. There was a boat against the rock, and they had a live bait out, and then next minute between the closest boat to the rock and the rocks, about 5 of them were just fully earing out around this boat, like 10 feet from the sky.
And it's sort of like, traditionally people would say, oh, bluefin tuna, 1,000-meter mark.
Yeah, Miller winter.
Yeah, yeah.
Now it's it's a summertime.
Like warm water temperatures and
Yeah, the water there was pretty cold when we were fishing there. It was like 14.5 degrees.
Okay, so yeah, still.
Yeah, there's definitely a cold current pushing into where those fish are that's creating that upwelling for all that feed.
Eastern side of Cape Brett.
Yeah. And that's but all the feed that's there, like I've fished that area for a very long time. And the bait schools that are there now, I've never seen them there in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the tunas have just arrived. The tunas have only arrived because their baits
the food's there.
Yeah. Like the schools of coeys and slimies, or those big English mackerel, whatever you want to call them, are like, they're giant. Like the schools are 40 meters deep and like football fields of them.
Yeah, like your alarm when your sounder is going off.
And like the krill, like you can see the krill. The water's like red.
Just thick with it, yeah.
And which in the last 10 years of fishing that area, I've never seen that. So it's obviously they've just followed that food. So they've obviously always been somewhere else.
Yeah. Well,
they've just now pushed in there for the last 2 years in a row, which is cool.
Yeah, when I interviewed TK, he sort of said that New Zealand for most pelagic fish is kind of the food basket. So they leave the waters to spawn and they come here to feed and get fat again. So
yeah, there's definitely enough food there for them. But there must be something to do with something's changed for those fish to arrive there for that bait, And like one day I was there, we arrived there in the morning and we had dolphins, orcas, pilot whales, and I think I don't know if they're brides or a minke whale, or saying all 4 whales at the same time in 30 meters of water. And then went out in the afternoon, went out deeper and had humpback whales like 5 miles out off the rock. So there's obviously like all those mammals are there
krill,
too.
There's this, there's that. The bird life is incredible.
Yeah. So I've never seen that there before. So something's changed for all that to happen, which is it's amazing.
That's good.
Man.
The fish is alive.
Oi! We've had over 70,000 views here and only 1,000 you've actually subscribed. That's like I've invited the whole neighbourhood for a barbecue and you're the bloke who's turned up with a salad. If you're enjoying the yarns and you haven't subscribed yet, you're basically eating the sausage without chipping in. So hit the button, you tight bugger.
Hey, I want to dive into Luke a little bit. You've been fishing your entire life.
Basically since.
So was that your family got you into it?
Yeah, my dad used to take me fishing from about the age of 4. Used to go out on the boat. When I was that young, I didn't do much fishing. I think I just used to sleep in the cabin the whole time. Yeah. It used to be like, my mum would be like, you've got to take the kid today. So he'd just put me in the boat and go fishing.
Off he goes, yeah.
And then I'd just be there.
Yeah.
And then, just always my old man took me fishing from a young age. Did heaps we had a batch up at Snell's Beach, which is, it's quite funny, think like that used to be a batch and now we just drive there every day to go fishing.
Yeah,
like it's not even
it's
like a normal thing.
Yeah.
And then for me, the game fishing didn't start. I didn't start game fishing until I was about 14. But back then, it's just snapper and king. Yeah. Oh, it was my old man. We were just into like snapper fishing. Work up fishing back in the day. 100-gram grim reapers, boosting around, chasing workups. Yeah. With mono, 15, 20, 24 kilo mono fishing grim reaper, 100-gram grim reapers.
Skull dragon snappers.
Yeah, it was pretty. But that's when my fishing started. Was up there, and then
sort of enlightened it and started a fire, right?
Yeah, and then from there, obviously did plenty of fishing, did heaps of trout fishing. which the trout fishing's kind of stopped since all this other fishing started now. You know, it's
Yeah.
hard to do everything.
Yeah.
Still do a little bit of trout fishing, maybe once a year. And then, the game fishing started when I was 14. I sucked at it. And then I didn't really...
Gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, it took me 4.5 years to catch a marlin, to catch my first marlin. And then I actually fortunate enough to meet this guy called Neil Douglas, who had the boat Destiny, and I ended up doing so much fishing with him. And we used to do heaps of sword fishing. Back in the day, used to do heaps of nighttime sword fishing. Used to go to the barrier, do like 2 or 3 days in a row, just fishing all night. Used to sleep during the days. And then that's what actually got me the job here at Yeehaa, basically.
Right.
We had been and done a trip and caught 6 swords for the trip. I was getting some photos developed down the road at Harvey Norman, and I had nothing to do. And so I came in here, and I was obviously at this point I didn't have a lot of money, so I wasn't here to buy anything.
Just here to look at all the, pretty gear.
I was like, I'll just kill some time, and Tony was here, and I was talking to him. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, not a lot actually." He's like, "What have you been up to?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just getting some photos processed of a sword fishing trip we did." So he's like, "Oh, do you want a job here?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it'd be pretty cool." And he's like, "When can you start?" And I started the next Monday. Yeah. Now I've been here for 15 years.
15 years later, you're still here. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then that obviously being in the industry, it's like always surrounded by it so much.
You're constantly finding about it, new products, and getting all the intel on where the fish are, and
get a lot of FOMO, you know. Always like, oh, somebody's doing this, I'm gonna have to go try that, you know, like there's always something happening.
So 4 years to get your first marlin.
Yeah,
must have been a bit of a paying your dues.
Yeah. We lost them in every single possible way, shape and form, you know, that we could think of, from poor hook rigs to like. We didn't have our own gear when we started out, so we always like borrowing people's gear. So they'd borrow the rod, break the line, you know, borrow lures, terrible hook rigs. Someone's old rod that's been sitting for years. Every single way we could lose one, we lost one there. And then, a lot changed once I started. And then I started working here, and I was actually fortunate enough to meet Bonds. Obviously, we stock a lot of his product and sell his lures. Met him, and through a little bit of guidance and tuition,
started to catch.
Made it happen. Yeah, caught a couple, and then. The fishing just got better and better, and just definitely learned a few things. Like I try and explain this to customers about definitely use whatever you can get to get out there. Yeah. But I walked the hardest road in terms of using borrowed gear, like trying to make the best do with what I could. And I struggled until basically I found the word consistency. You know, like trying to having everything nice. The same. Yeah, everything the same and everything nice, and consistency become my favorite word for marlin fishing now. Yeah. It's that's definitely a key. Yeah. Yeah,
so and you now got your own boat.
Yep. I just got a brand new 635 Marco in June. Yeah. June or July. Yeah. Done 200 hours on it since, and what are we doing? Beginning of December.
It's like 4 months. 5 months. Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly snapper and kingy fishing too. Did a couple of days southern bluefin tuna fishing. Yeah. But mainly it's
that's just engine hours out and back. Yeah, that's crazy.
No, I've been making the most of it. That's for sure. And but the weather's been nice. You know, like it's been a pretty nice spring.
You've got a spot where you can just go out of too. Like that's
and a very flexible job.
Yeah.
You know, we have to go fishing.
Yeah.
People like talking to people that have been fishing, funnily enough, you know?
Yeah.
I got my own boat now and looking forward to go marlin fishing in that this year.
So I think maybe like a good place to start might be for, someone who's maybe in a similar situation. They've put in a couple of seasons and been dusting their knuckles and not getting the results,
Yeah.
Some of the things that you ironed out with your setup.
So back in the day, which I might go into a bit of stuff about the light gauge, but when I met Bonds, it was kind of about the time when the light gauge stuff
was just starting,
starting as well. So like, because I had such poor success fishing with standard hooks, I caught a few with them, like just your standard game hooks, and then a couple of years after catching a few fish, I was still pretty average, and then the light gauge thing kind of all kicked off here. But what we used to call it the system. And we used to sell the system basically, which was like a real just simplified, straightforward system that we could just give to anyone. Mm-hmm. And that's what we were running. And basically we just replicate it, So we're just running one teaser, a dredge, and 4 lures. Yeah. Running all 4 lures out of the outrigger, which was quite important. The importance to that is one, it does open the spread up a little bit too, but it allows, when you're running your dredge and your teaser, it allows the lures to sit on the outside of them in the cleaner water. So as a fish comes into your spread, you got your prop wash sitting on, like if he's coming into your dredge on your port side, he's got the prop wash on his right hand side, where on his left hand side, if the lure's sitting out, it's out in the nice clear water. And doing all these things, like the first day I fished with Bonds, we just set my boat up with that, like with what we called the system. And basically, first day we caught one, and next day we caught another one. I was thinking, this is
too good to be true. Yeah.
It's that easy, you know.
Yeah.
It's that easy when you know how. But just like simplifying it into one simple system, having all the gear the same, all the rods, the reels,
1, 2, 3, 4,
setting up everything stays in the same place. We now fish Dacron loop, like we've basically since then always fished a Dacron loop. The lures stay in the same place every day, and it's creating like a consistency. You know what I mean? Like you're creating a control. You know, like instead of having, the most frustrating thing is when you get somebody and they always want to change things all the time.
Try this lure today. We'll try that one. No, this. And
it's like, you know, they're like, oh, we haven't had a bite, so we're going to change something else. But it's like, once you've got the control, you know, I know this works. It's a very simple, easy system. This works. And if we could, to try not to be changing all the time.
So I suppose there's a lot of reasons why you might not get a bite in a day. First
1 million reasons.
Be anywhere near the fish.
There may be no marlin around you, which is generally reason number 1 that you don't get a bite. Reason number 2, you may be there, but he may be 50 meters away.
Yeah.
And so like that can be all the difference.
And your lures are 25 meters back.
And like at the end of the day, if you don't run them over, they don't come swimming over to you. You know, like you got to be finding them. So there are keys to finding them too. And being in areas where there are more fish definitely helps, you know. Yeah. So,
what do you think? You know, if someone's planning a trip out, is the things they should be looking for to actually get out and know they're going to find fish?
To find like marlin.
Yeah. I think so.
Find out where the marlin are.
Yeah.
Like
who's been catching?
Yeah, who's been catching, where they've been catching. Striped marlin are an interesting one because like once they're here, they can live in pretty average water. Yeah. You know, like it's like sometimes when you're catching them, you look at the water and you're like, man,
it's green.
It's average as, which is obviously like the food must be in it so that they've moved into it. But it might not be somewhere where you'd like typically start, you know. Generally always looking at a SST or a chlorophyll chart, looking for like breaks, places where the nice water meets the average water. So that, you know, because obviously the food will be in the green stuff. And so finding those areas is generally something like I'll usually look at that. But also just talking to people, man, like having a group of people to talk to is huge.
Yeah. So developing
if you know where a marlin was caught yesterday, they're a school fish. There's going to be more there again tomorrow.
I saw a little like, you know, reel or something the other day, and I counted 26 marlin that were on this bait ball.
And the meat ball,
on someone's, you know, just underwater camera. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and they often don't move very quick. Like if somebody caught one there, that marlin was there for a reason on our coast. You know, he's probably there feeding or something. So if there's food there, the other ones are all gonna.
They're going to be around that area too.
Yeah, and so that's a huge one. If you can find an area where somebody was catching the day before, that is
and
number
within
one.
A couple of miles or whatever, they're going to be there.
You put yourself in that area and then use your own skills to find, you know, like something in that area to stick to.
Looking at the birds, looking at the watercolor, the temperature.
Yeah, and then another big one is also like. In a trailer boat trying to run a marlin over, the next big thing was traveling. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, we used to do big travels where you'd come out the gate, go to one spot, do a couple of passes, nothing. So you'd travel to the next spot and go nothing there, and then you'd travel again. And used to catch nothing doing that, or you get the odd one. Yeah. And so from now on, we generally, like once I have picked an area, I call it basically gambling. It's like you gamble your day. You come out the gate, you've got 2 tides usually. Once you find an area you like, you've gambled. You're red or black, you gambled on that for the day.
You're seeing bait, you're seeing chimps, whatever.
If you don't catch a marlin, you didn't catch a marlin. You gave it the best shot. But I would basically, once I pick an area that I like, or if I know there was a fish caught there the day before or something like that, I'm there all day.
Yeah, so you're just going to mow the grass up and
basically
down.
Basically a mile back and forth. You know, I might do a couple mile grid just to try and work out if that water's moved a little bit. And then basically it's just back and forth. Fishing generally, like trying to fish across sea or something like that, so my boat's more consistent, so it's running more consistently. So the lures are just more like they're always performing as good as they can be. And then, yeah, just back and forth all day is boring as fishing.
Boring as it is, yeah.
It's the most boring fishing until that dorsal pops
until
up.
it happens, yeah.
Yeah. The game's changed a little bit with the Omni sonars. Like I've been fortunate to fish on the Matador, which has a Furuno Omni. And you can do a lot more searching with that. But in our trailer boats, we're generally pretty stuck.
Yeah,
to
I mean,
an
you
area.
can't put one of those to a trailer boat, so.
Well, not yet. Boats will, and boats are. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
But a kit.
Be pretty cool when it happens. But...
Yeah, it will be. It'll definitely, people will catch a lot more marlin, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Actually, so tell us a little bit about fishing with that on that big boat, how that plays out. It fascinates me.
It's pretty cool. Hayden, who runs the Matador, he talked good and bad about it, because like it is a very cool tool. It's obviously 360 Omni, so it's looking 360 degrees. You can tilt the beam up and down to obviously search the water column, and they basically
get, nearly a mile out.
They do, but your active range is about 350 meters.
Okay.
So you're generally fishing actively about 350. And then once you hit a target, as the target gets closer, you're dropping that in to try and keep them in the beam. So it's like a it's like a light like that. So as
it's wide
so as the fish is further away, you need to drop the beam to keep him in the beam. So tracking them. So it takes quite a bit of skill to run it. Like the guys who are really good at running them are really good, and it's not a set and forget. Like if you can't just like put it on like a radar and just sit
and then
there.
You catch fish. You've got to be actively.
Generally, somebody's sitting there in that chair looking at it all day long. But yeah, the ones we've caught with it, it's like you'll be like driving along, and be like, man, that looks like a marlin on that, and then you start tracking it, and then 30 seconds later he's in the spread behind. Yeah, and you're like, man, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like it made it. Once I first saw it, I was like, man, it made so demoralizing for like fishing without one.
Time that
because like you'd be trolling along and he'd be 100 meters over there, and then you just roll over there and catch him. You think, man, if I was in my boat.
Yeah,
I'd have to spend all day doing tracks to be finally.
And that's how much that fish moves as well.
Yeah. He's not just sitting still there. So I was like, man, it was real demoralizing for my own fishing.
It's so it is a rich man's game if you.
Yeah.
But that's been said. I mean, we see guys every year on smaller and smaller boats doing
some pretty cool
awesome things.
Yeah. There's some pretty good small boat fishermen out there, but one huge thing with that small boat is definitely having like a good setup.
Yeah,
having it clean and tidy, easy to use. That's like the big one too. Is like not overcrowding everything as well.
Well, I mean, most of those small boats is only going to be an angler and a skipper, and that's it, right? So
yeah, and that system that we used to sell back in the day, that was like the easiest, cleanest setup.
4 rods,
a teaser and a dredge, man. It was that
put
easy.
On an electric reel if you can to get that.
Yeah, back in the day we just used to hand pull them, but now it seems to be that the money invested in fishing seems to be on the up.
Yeah,
and everyone seems to have electric reels now. So yeah, electric reels. And to be fair, one of the boys, Hayden, actually one day just strapped an electric reel to his hand pull dredge boom, and changed the whole game for us.
Yeah,
like before that there was no electric reel dredges that weren't $10,000, and now we're all fishing with $1,000 electric reels on top of these dredge booms. And when he did that, it was like, why has no one else done this yet?
Yeah,
and it made it so easy for pulling them. So yeah, now you see every trailer boat's got electric dredge.
Well, yeah, I guess like when you do get a bite, like clearing the gear is, and I learned this the hard way, that if you don't do it properly, it's your whole fight's going to be your stuff rolling around, and you've got hooks and
and you can lose control of the fish too. Keeping in track with the fish is a big one as well. One of the big things that Bonds taught me is like when I started to like get better at fishing, I also got to fish with Eddie Lawler when I did a couple of trips with him at Peak Sport Fishing over in WA, and both him and Bonds were real big in staying behind the fish to try and catch the one that's not hooked. So like if the hook's over its bill, or if the fish isn't hooked very well, it's like if you stay behind the fish for the majority of the fight, all the leader and weight is going to be getting pulled down the back of the fish. The hooks are getting pulled into more fish, which makes it a lot harder for the hook to fall off. So keys to like when you do have only 3 rods and they're all electric, if the fish doesn't get too far away from you, you can kind of keep an idea of where he is. You can always stay behind him a lot easier. You get less chance of
well, I mean, it's easy if they're tail dancing and stuff, but if they're one that hasn't done that,
Yeah,
you're sort of
and the
guessing.
hook's just over his hoodie. You just don't. I want to try and make sure I always know where he's swimming, so I can stay behind him. The other thing too is you get a lot of line out, and the line belly might pull his head round,
Yeah,
which can then
pull
off
the hook, or he
goes.
starts swimming the wrong way, and
Yeah. So
goes.
it's so definitely keeping the fish in that tighter parameters helps a lot too. Because I know if I know which way he's swimming, I can stay behind him, and then I won't pull the hook off him until I get him close enough, and then if it falls off, it falls off.
And I think on that small boat too, it's the jobs each guy's got. The guy on the rod has got to watch the fish, but the guy on the sticks has got to do
The guy
as
driving
much
the
work.
boat, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one who's
Well, he's
really...
controlling the situation, making sure everyone's doing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you want to support Get the Net? Easy. Hit the subscribe button. Or send me a new rod. Either works.
You've talked a little bit about the light gauge setup.
Yeah.
Should we grab it, sit down, and we can
Yeah.
Get
that out of the way for us.
compare them to a regular set? Because I think this is a big key for you.
Yeah, and my fishing, so that's your standard. I'll bring that back. Ooh, I feel like I've moved
No,
a
I
whole
think
bunch
you should.
now.
I think you should be right.
You're
Yeah.
right. So that's like your standard hook. So that's
Yeah.
a Bond's Grander, which is basically just like your everyday marlin fishing hook, from back in the day. And then, now 11 years ago, that hook there's been out for 11 years, which that's a 9.0, which is the bigger size. Is what
It's
we
crazy
basically
how much thinner
fish
it
with
is.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so differences. One's a stainless steel hook, which is obviously nice because they're a bit more set and forget. Obviously they don't rust as quick or at all. And then the steel, for the light gauge, we went to a steel hook. So the hook's made of steel to get the strength.
Okay.
Because to make a stainless steel version, it's too weak for the gauge of the hook. So we're trying to make the strongest hook we could for the thinnest wire. And that gives you the penetration so that, obviously.
So it's actually a firmer...
Well, it's just just the thinner the steel is, the easier it's going to go in. But that obviously then creates a weak point. And the steel can be chemically sharpened, so they're not hand sharp. Like they do a cutting edge on them, but then they're chemically sharpened, so they're incredibly sharp and just as small as possible.
And so the theory I'm going, because
we just want an attachment.
Yeah, I was going to say, traditionally you'd think big hook, big fish.
Yeah. And so marlin have a weakness, which is that they live on the surface. And so you can use that to your advantage. Lure fishing too, you've got an advantage because you've got a lure. And when the lure's hanging behind the fish, it's creating drag, which again you can how do you call it? Like you can make the fish think that the lure is the issue.
Yeah.
So like
so it's trying to shake that off its back, or
it's because the pull's coming from directly behind him because of the weight of the lure. If the fish is swimming along the surface and you don't have any pressure on him and there's a belly of line, he thinks the pressure is from behind him.
Yeah.
And you can
So he
actually
keeps swimming that way.
if I can see him, you can drive straight into where the marlin is. He doesn't think that the boat's the issue. He thinks the pressure's from behind him. So you can manipulate. You can manipulate the fish's thoughts and what he's thinking. To help you fight it. And so the light gauge gives us that ability of just an attachment. So he's always going to have to come back to the surface generally. And if we're attached to him, then we've got a chance of catching him.
Yeah.
That was the whole concept. It was like we're going from trying to catch a fish that's got the hook over the bill to...
Because they do a lot of that billing sort of behaviour where they just come and slap things. And
Yeah, they don't often eat the... like open their mouth and eat the lure. They often will like stun their prey first, and it's it can be hard to hook them. So it just gives us an attachment. It's basically the key.
Yeah, cool.
And then we tried to make it strong enough so that we can then catch them. And if they are hooked good, you can put a lot of drag on them. You can.
Yeah. So, what do you set your reels from a?
I have generally a rule of thumb. We suggest everyone to set the strike drag at 5 kilo.
So pretty light.
Pretty light. And the concept of that is for the initial part of the fight, like the hook's stronger than 5 kilos. Like, don't get it's stronger than that. But when the fish eats, the boat's doing 7 knots. The fish is doing some speed. There's lying belly in the water, and so the speed increases your drag exponentially. And so basically the 5 kilo strike drag is designed for when you hook the fish initially. There's probably going to be somewhere between 12 and 15 kilos of drag on that hook
at the hook end,
in the first 30 seconds. And that's why I try and explain to guys, once the fight actually settles down, you can put more drag on the fish because you've had more drag on the fish. But you got to realize that if the fish does start running and jumping, your drag is now increased again. And it's a real good thing for people to try is when you've got your rod in the holder, pull 5 kilos of drag real slow and then pull it real fast
and see the
difference in how much drag. And often you'll get about a 20 to 30% increase with just the speed of pulling it like that.
Yeah.
So once you start becoming aware of those things, guys seem to break a lot less light gauge hooks.
You sort of talked a little bit about settling down because, you know, when you first get that bite, like
everything's happening.
It's pretty crazy.
One of the best,
especially if you get one that's put on an aerial show.
One of the best things ever, adrenaline. You know, it's the best thing ever. Ruins the brain. Yeah. Everyone generally goes a little bit crazy. But in that time, with the fish running and jumping, there's a lot more pressure on the hook. And so once it all settles down, and then you've got the guy in the harness and you're driving towards the fish, and the fish is
still sitting down now.
The fish has calmed down. Now the 5 kilos you had on him, you can put a little bit more on him because you've had more on him.
Yeah.
You know, like
through
that period, but you just, be aware that if he does run off and jump again, the drag needs to come back.
But certainly, so in that first little bit when it's jumping and diving, don't touch your drag.
Yeah. That's the key. Or back the drag off because as you lose line, your drag increases as well.
Of the line,
Put it this way, I was actually testing. I've been fortunate enough to fish the Wonganellas. I think I've been there 9 times now.
Far out.
But we fish Telica 50s up there, and what I do is I despool all the reels, and I put 200 meters of like a different color hollow on the bottom, so that if we've got like 5 on, the boys know when they're getting down to their last 200. So I have like 200 of yellow, and then I'll put like 700 of white on top. And then our top shot, so just the boys don't have to panic that day. Because the reels look really low quite early before you're down to that final 200. And from when the spool was full, I had 7 kilos at strike. And then once I took the top shot and the 700 off, so once I'm down to the 200, I pulled the drag, and it was 14.
Yes, it's double.
It's doubled in 700 meters.
Yeah.
So you got to think, like, if your fish is running out and you got 400 out, you've probably added.
Yeah, you're up around 10 kilos or 11 kilos.
Already. Yeah. So there's a few factors, and that's why we say that 5 kilo drag. But it is good for people to know that they can put a little bit more on later. But yeah, it's there's a lot more to it.
So we've been fighting the fish. We've got them settled down.
Yeah.
We've got the boat in the right position. We get them boat side.
Yeah. Leadering is the next thing. When we first started out running this stuff, and guys would then get the leader and take a wrap and break them off. So then I used to sell all my customers 200-pound leaders.
You can't break it.
What? No, they're too scared. Too scared to wrap it. And
so, 400 you can't break, but
400 you're not going to break. You're probably going to break the hooks. And so when we initially started to get guys to stop leadering so hard, I'd be like, put 200-pound, and then they're more worried about breaking the leader than they are breaking the hooks. That was a good way to get people used to. You can get a feel for the fish, like you can get like the
you can sort of tell if it's still green or if it's
and you can walk a fish real comfortably. Like if a fish is comfortable, he will walk really well.
Cruise alongside the boat.
Yeah, you can get him just to comfortably come into the boat, and then obviously like we're talking about staying behind the fish and then just working that fish in up to the side of the boat's a bit of a key. But yeah, when the whole light gauge thing started, man, there was a lot of hate.
All people dropping them left, right, and center,
and guys, obviously it was a new style of fishing, and there's always a bit of pushback on it. You know,
anything that changes
these young
the
guys
way people do things is, seems
people
to be
don't like change.
And like I said to you before we started this morning, like everyone's like, there's nothing's right or wrong. Everyone's got their own.
Yeah. There's no rules to fishing, man. There's no rules to fishing. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And a big thing I've taken from fishing with light gauge, like I've been able to learn from some pretty good skippers, but being able to catch a big fish on a small hook gives you so many more skills.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to learn so many more things, so that, like the way I think about it, like if you hooked a grander on a 9-baro hook, like that is a light gauge to
for a big fish.
£1,000 mark.
Yeah.
And so catching 100 kg striped marlin on a light gauge isn't like a crazy feat, but it will help guys. They'll gain so many more skills, and like they're going to have some more tricks in their little book how to catch them. You know what I mean? Like if the fish goes down and they can't, they're going to have to figure out how to get the fish back to the surface using like a change of drag or an angle change. And so even if, the skills I've learned from using light gauge has helped me then.
There's a lot more to angling than just muscling and sort of,
Yeah, agreed. But that's a big one for me is, a lot of people look down on it, but on the light gauge, they're like, oh, why would you use such a little hook for a big fish? But it'll give you so many more skills in catching that bigger fish later on, you know. And we've caught heaps of blue marlin on them. We've caught about 20 blue marlin so far on the light gauge. To me, they've been fantastic for me, but I've been there from the get-go. I got a pretty funny story of when it started. When we started, before the light gauge happened, I remember going on a trip with Neil on the Destiny, and we went out, and before the trip happened, I met up with Bonds to pick up some gear for the shop, and he was like, he showed me these hooks, and he's like, we're going to start catching marlin on these. And at that point, it was a SR12 fly hook, and I was like, looking at it, I was like, oh yeah. He's like, bro, take some of these if you're going fishing. I was like, cool. So I took some, went fishing with Neil. The first day, I think we lost four marlin. The next day, we lost 7.
Oh man!
And I remember calling Bonds, and I was just like, "Oh, bro,
a putty party going on here.
We're getting heaps of action." And he's like, "Bro, put the little hooks out." And I was like, "Man, we're on a 68-foot, 100-ton per seine vessel with one engine." He's like, "What have you got to lose? You've lost 11 marlin. Like, put them out." The next day, we fished a big hook. We're still fishing standard hooks, and the next day we caught one. We'd gone 1 from 12 for the trip, and it was like, now. We then took that boat to the Wanganellas and caught over 100 marlin in 4 days with light gauge hooks on a 100-ton single screw per seine vessel. And it's like, now I'd never look back. But I remember the hesitation at that point, you know, which I see a lot of people have.
Just get that a little bit closer.
Yeah, which I've seen a lot of people have.
Yeah.
So I've walked down this road, you know what I mean? I was one of those people for the first bit. And so now.
I'm sure that if you go to a game club, there's probably some pretty big opinions on it too.
Yeah, huge, and I understand it. Like a lot of people fish for the dream fish, and they, you know, there's stories of people losing the dream fish and stuff like that. And there's always going to be those stories. Yeah, you're going to lose them on whatever. Like there's going to be
you're going to lose fish.
There's 100 other ways you can lose a marlin.
Yeah, and you've got to be prepared to actually just know that some days you're gonna catch nothing or. You're going to drop a fish. That's just all a part of it, right? Like that's fishing itself. It's but
it's for me now, we do fish standard hooks now quite a bit as well. But it's like for me the light gauge for a guy trying to catch a striped marlin, off the west coast. Other big factor, like I remember back in the day, you'd spend 20 minutes sharpening a hook. Don't have to sharpen the light gauge. They come out of the packet. It was like the nicest, easiest system for a dude who's like, I want to catch a striped marlin. Yeah, it's like. Here's a hook you don't have to sharpen, pre-made rig.
They can come and grab the lures, grab the rods. They're fishing the next morning.
Everything's done. Yeah. It's a cool way of fishing. So
how long do those hooks last, given that they're steel? They replace them every trip, every other trip, every season?
Depends on the customer and how they look after them.
Yeah.
I got customers who have hooks for 10 years.
Yeah.
I got guys who they come out of the water and they clean them instantly when they come out of the water and they've been using the same hooks forever. I got guys that chuck them in the side of the gunnel and they rust in 2 or 3 days, you know. Yeah. So it depends how you treat them. Because they're a steel hook, they need looking after, but we catch heaps of fish on the same hooks. Like there's no issue with that. It's how you look after it.
Talk to me a bit about lure selection, because there's hundreds of sizes, shapes, colours. And so thinking around that small boat fishing, like what you're doing.
Small boat fishing. So how I always used to set up a spread was, and again, I'm just relaying what I've been taught. You know what I mean? I just feel like a parrot. Right? You know what I mean?
Like you've had some pretty good days out there.
Yeah. And so the way I look at it is you've got your dredge and your teaser. So you got your boat's your big teaser, and then you got a dredge and a teaser. Any fish that comes up on those, they're coming up excited. So I just want like 2 easy to eat lures. I'll generally fish like a D-Shackle or a Trojan or a BTK or something just straight running, something real easy. He's come up on the teaser. I don't need like a big splashy lure. I just once that teaser's gone, I just need something that he's already there, you know, so I just need something nice and easy. Following that behind on the rigger, I'll generally run something a little bit more aggressive like a Kraken. So if the fish hasn't come in short, I've got something out
Coming
there
from the
that is a
side or
bit
something.
excitable. So I'll have an excitable lure out there on the rigger. And then on the other side of the rigger, again, I'll have like probably a real easy eat option, you know, something like a weapon, like a bullet, or like a heat. Again, just something straight. So like on my 2 rigger lures, I've got an exciter and a straight runner. And then my 2 lures and behind the boat, I've generally got 2 easy to eat options behind my 2 teasers.
Yep.
And that's how I set up a spread for a customer who's just 3 of those lures are a cup lure. So they've got they've got a cup on the front, which is incredibly easy for for anyone to run. You know, like they'll run in any condition all the time. And that's the big key, is having a lure that's always easy for a fish to eat.
Yeah. And they'll probably swim in most sort of conditions.
Swim in all conditions.
Yeah.
And so like that's a real easy starting point. You know what I mean? Like those 4 lures and the dredge and the teaser, very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to keep it simple, eh? Is the old saying.
And we everything we've sort of talked about now will cross over for the yellowfin as well.
Yep.
For the tuna fishing.
Yeah, like we catch plenty of yellowfin on the light gauge and stuff like that. Tuna fishing, southern bluefin, we fish a little differently. But yellowfin tuna fishing, yeah. I just fish a marlin spread. I'd rather lose a yellowfin than lose a marlin. So whenever the marlin are here, it's like I'm here to catch a marlin.
Yeah.
The yellowfin's just a bonus.
A welcome bycatch.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
And you were talking just before about, probably pissing off the Savo to go and
go yellowfin tuna
but
fishing.
you've been targeting them on the top water at the moment.
Yep. Yeah. So we shot down Whakatane the other day and went out there and joined the group of boats. Man, there's a lot of boats out there fishing for them. It's pretty awesome to see, actually, how many guys are out there. But yeah, the topwater fishing is there was bust ups all day long from about 10 to 3.
And so you're just basically going out there, glassing, whatever. There they are.
Yeah, we ran around for about 3 hours, couldn't find them. So we put a couple of lures out. We took a couple of rods, put a couple of lures out. We're just trundling around, and then we heard of some boats finding them. So we basically pulled the lures in and just ran at 20 knots, and we're just running until we saw them.
Yeah,
It was just like, we know they're down here somewhere, and so we're just driving around at 20 knots looking, and then eventually we saw some busting, and once we found an area where they were busting, and they were just non-stop all day long.
And you casting directly into the bustings or around the sides, or what's
those ones there didn't have many birds on them.
Yeah.
I've had it in the past where there's been a lot of gannets, and you kind of have to feather the edges of the school because you get quite a few gannets, and you don't want to
gannets are not nice on the boat.
They're not nice, and it's like they take so long to deal with. By then, usually the workup's over, and for us, there was no birds on the workups that we're fishing on, so we're casting directly into the bust ups. And the fish. The hardest part for us was actually getting to them before they ended.
Yeah, so they found a little bait ball and they
were
smash
eating
it apart pretty quick.
They look like little anchovies and small squid.
Like that probably, yeah.
Yeah, there was heaps of these little squid they were spewing up, and so it was real quick, like 20, 30 seconds you had to get there. So as soon as you're there, we're just putting the lures straight into them, which is always funny because you got 3 of us casting, so everyone's like casting over each other and whatnot, but you get it done.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. And that fishery seems to be sort of like a early November till about mid-Jan is when it's its peak.
Yeah, and then it seems to be mid-Jan. It seems to feather off. But like, to be fair, I know I've watched previous episode where you had Wayne Downer on here. He's the man you need to talk to because he did the yellowfin fishing 30 years ago. Showing because he's a little bit older than us.
He's old as hell, mate.
Yeah, he is a little bit older than us, and so you need it's quite interesting. You need to go back and talk to the old boys that did this 30 years ago. And
but they didn't have all the fancy tackle then, did they?
They did not. Yeah, I was talking to Tony Holden from Kilwell the other day, and he was like, it's exactly how he remembers it 30 years ago. He's like, this is what happened. And so probably just need to go and talk to those old boys. Yeah, they'll tell us all the secrets.
Yeah, I think we're in a really cool spot with the fishery at the minute, and we're in a really. That's it. There's obviously been some noise lately around government trying to change rules, and I think key learning for me is we've got to stand up. We've got to make our voices heard.
Yep. Yeah, like the recreational body in New Zealand's huge.
Oh, I mean, like you're just one of how many.
We're one
shops.
Little tackle store. Yeah. We're like one of the smallest little tackle stores.
Yeah.
And the recreational. You go out to you look at the southern bluefin tuna fishery when that started, and there's like 100 trailer boats.
Yeah.
the money that's generated from just like a single day at Yeehaa, there's 100. I'd hate to think of how expensive some of those rigs
some of
are.
those boats are easy
like
500-600 grand.
8 meter,
That's
8
like,
meter, 8
it is
meter.
the mecca for trailer boat fishing.
Dodge
isn't it?
Ram,
Like,
200
yeah.
series, 300 series. You're thinking, man, those rigs are all like
Yeah.
$500,000 plus.
Yeah,
They've all traveled for a day. Fuel, food, accommodation,
the whole lot. Yeah,
tackle stores. Like the value in it is just massive.
yeah.
And then all those guys are all marlin fishermen, but they're just all spread out during summer.
During
you
the
know?
summer,
Like,
yeah.
Yeehaa brings us all together because we're all in one place. But it's like all those guys are all summertime marlin fishermen.
Yeah, whether they're down either coast. It's down
They
now
could be
as far as Taranaki, they're getting them.
Yeah. Well, last year they got them in the South Island.
Yeah.
I was joking to the boys the other day. I was like, man, we're going to have to book into Islander tickets shortly because the water's it's like
Getting
17 and a
warmer
half
down there,
degrees
yeah.
there. I was like, we're going to be going into Islander shortly to go marlin fishing. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's hard to picture how much is actually made
Yeah.
from us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
and there's certainly I think recreational guys really value the fishery and value the fish.
yeah.
I think we possibly put a higher per fish value than selling it off overseas. So
Yeah, easily. And like I get a little bit caught up because I am I'd call myself a sport fisherman. Like I don't eat huge amount of fish, but I say this, but then I go fishing like once or twice a week. So I don't kill a lot because I'm always fishing. So I'm always just keeping enough to eat. Like
yeah,
for the next day.
a bit of a segue, but you re-caught a snapper recently, didn't you?
Yeah. I caught I've actually re-caught 3 of my own snappers.
That's crazy, yeah.
That I've tagged. But yeah, I caught one the other day that I tagged it 13 months earlier, pretty much nearly in the same location. It hadn't grown and it hadn't changed weight in 13 months. But yeah, it was 80 centimeters and just under 21 pounds.
That's why you re-caught it.
Both times.
Hungry.
and the fish was in like a real good condition.
condition,
Like he was a really nice conditioned 80. And hadn't grown, hadn't changed, and he'd come back to the same spot to feed again for I'm guessing to spawn probably. Yeah, come back to spawn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the second one I've caught in the same spot nearly 13 months later. The other one I actually re-caught in the same spot 5 days later.
Oh, wow.
And it was 19 pounds. And I was like, I was stuck on 19 pounds for ages and I was catching heaps of them. And it was like, I couldn't break the 20. And then I caught my own 19 pound. I was like, man, this is, I cannot catch a break here.
I was talking to Andrew Hill yesterday and he said the same thing. He just couldn't crack the 20 for ages. And then it happened and he just can't stop it now.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes you go through this run and I just couldn't get out of that one. But I've had some pretty amazing recaptures actually. I had a point there where I tagged 12 snappers at Great Barrier in a day. And then I had one of those recaught about 6 months later somewhere else, quite far away from where the original tag point was. And then 4 years later, nearly to the month, I had 3 recaptures from that same body of fish.
Yeah, wow.
In like a 1 month period. I had 3 people in the same same space. Yeah, 4 years later.
Yeah.
And
so
none of those
do
fish
go back there for a reason.
Yeah, none of those fish had been caught in 4 years. So
Yeah,
obviously had a bit of a biannual movement there, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like tagging the snappers. It's been pretty fun, and yeah, it's interesting to see the recaptures.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few recaptures now.
That's cool.
So it's and obviously I'm like I said, being a sport fisherman, I do get a little caught up in like fish are food. But obviously just because I do it so much, I get a bit on the conservation side.
Yeah, I think it's an important message, and I've tried to make that consistent across what I've been doing with this. Is like you don't have to kill everything you catch.
Yeah, it's and fish do survive.
Yeah,
Fish do survive. Fish are tough, man. It's from what I've seen tagging, like people may look down on this, but I hang the snappers from the head to weigh them, and I was always a bit like I feel a little bit bad doing it if I'm not weighing, like sling weighing them or something like that. And then I've had all my big snappers that I've had recaught, I've hung from the head to weigh them. Like they're quite a tough animal. You catch a kingy, he's been speared, like they've got big spear marks through them.
Yeah, they'll go again from 150 meters, no problem.
Yeah. I think people don't give sometimes the fish credit in how they don't want to die.
Yeah.
Like they're not like like animals seem to be quite a lot tougher than the old human.
When you release marlin, do you try to swim them first?
If we can, like. Admittedly, like we try and catch them as fast as we can. One, because it's fun. You know what I mean? Like
catching.
Well, one, like the hot catch is fun. I like to have the marlin jumping on the leader and stuff like that. And because I've caught like so many now, I'm not too worried about getting like the boat side
Dropping
photo, or not getting the
Yeah,
boat side
okay.
photo. So like,
Yeah.
if we get the leader and it jumps and pulls off, I'm like, we're all
Sweet, it's caught
we're all
fish.
happy, you know. Like for us, we've all caught plenty. But if we do get one boat side, 100%, we swim them. Yeah. Always like it. I always look at my angler, and if my angler's panting, you should probably swim that marlin until the angler stops panting. You know what I mean? Like if and you were just winding a reel in a harness, you know. Yeah. So it's always a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I like
if your angler's tired, probably swim that
Yeah.
fish until he's not tired. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Just give them a second. You know, they definitely recover. And they want to
see the colour back into them, and
and they'll start swimming again. And if he doesn't swim, just take him home. You know, like
Yeah, marlin's like pretty good eating. Marlin sashimi is actually, I think, very like
out there.
Not a lot of people talk about it, but it's actually delicious.
Yeah. So unfortunately, there's just so much.
Yeah. You've got to smoke the bulk of it, right?
Yeah, but you get the odd fish dying, and that's the ones you keep, you know. And when I'm straight lining or soft baiting, like that's generally how we pick the ones we keep for the day, you know.
Swallowed the hook or.
Yeah, it happens, man. We're fishing in a sport where you're gonna kill them.
Yeah,
like that's part of the game. It's you got to be prepared. Yeah. You can't release everything.
So. Well, it is a form of hunting.
Yeah,
and you know, I always say this a lot too. It's in our DNA as Kiwis, as New Zealanders, to you know, to catch food and hunt food.
Bring it home.
Yeah.
It's like you say, there is some good feeling about sharing fish with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, something that you've caught. And especially like sometimes people don't get to experience the fish that we catch, you know, like with all those yellowfin, I've been giving it away to people and stuff like that. And not everyone
has tried it before, yeah.
Yeah. It's like in the stuff you get in the shops compared to one that we caught 2 days ago.
We'll treat it
chalk
properly.
and cheese.
Yeah.
So it's also cool to be able to give stuff like that away to people.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, hit the subscribe button. It only takes a second, it costs you nothing, and it makes me sound like I actually know what I'm talking about.
The importance of looking after your fish when you catch it is
huge.
Yeah,
like those yellowfins the other day, I was shocked. I bought 70 kilos of ice just to look after. It's like,
yeah.
So
one downside to yellowfin coming back is every day I go marlin fishing, I got to buy like 40 kilos of ice to make sure if I catch one, I can look after it.
Yeah, you can look after it. Yeah. And those guys selling ice have just cracked it. Frozen water.
People, and same for marlin. Like marlin's a big one. If you're, I'm quite big now into like, if we're going to kill a marlin, like if a marlin dies on me for the day, I'll just trunk it and put it in a chili bin if I'm going to eat it. You know what I mean? Or the rule on my boat used to be if you wanted to kill a marlin, like I don't care if one of the boys wants to take one home for the day, but it happens after 3 p.m.
Because you want to get it back in.
Like I'm not going to stop fishing.
Yeah, at 10 a.m.
I'm not going to end my day fishing. So if you want to take one, cool. If we catch one after 3 p.m., you're more than happy to take it. And we'll just finish the day and go back and take it in.
I like that.
To look after.
And then it gets looked after properly.
And it gets looked after. If we catch your marlin at 10 o'clock in the morning, sorry, mate, you're probably going to have to let it go. Yeah. But if you want to eat it and not get it, you know, if they just want to eat it and not take a photo at the gantry or something like that, just trunk it and we'll just put it in a chili bin, you know, like, and actually make it, they're so much better eating.
Like they ice down properly.
If they're just looked after.
There's another critter with a big bill on its face.
Yeah, the old swordfish.
That you've maybe talk to us about the big one to start with.
So I love sword fishing. It's one of my other favorite hobbies, but I was fortunate enough to be the skipper, be a part of catching a 360.4 actually.
Wow.
And it's got a pretty funny story to it. It's actually got a wicked yarn if you want a good fish.
Let's go.
We're fishing out of Whangaroa. Went up there. It was pretty rough the first day we fished. It was like 20 knots, meant to be dying out to about 10 knots. And so we go out, and I was fishing with my dad and this guy called Harry. And Harry hadn't caught a sword, so he's the angler for the day. And we go out there, and we're fishing. We're fishing away in the morning, and no action. Gets to about, I'm trying to think, about like 10 o'clock or something like that. And we actually moved area. First drop in the new area, boom, get one on. Instantly get a bite from it. Coming up to the surface, on his way up, slacks out, comes up, brings him up. We get the leader, fish does a couple of head shakes, falls off. And it was kind of like, it is a caught fish, but probably not for Harry, because it's his first one.
Just done the winding button.
We got a release, but not really. So then we drive back around, drop on the same mark, and as we're dropping down, Harry's dropping the bait. He's going to be the angler again. And it gets bit on the way down. He's like, this just got bit. And I'm like, sure? And he's like, yeah. And then it starts dropping again, and then he's like, man, it just got bit again, and then it just stops. And he's like holding it there. I was like, you on the bottom? He's like, no, man, I'm ages off the bottom. And then it just like goes slack. And I was like, oh, well, you're on again, bro. Back
Start
in the
winding,
harness
yeah.
you go. So he's back in the harness and he's winding up. And as he's winding up, and I'm thinking, we fish with a circle hook with a rebar over the hook over the hook, if you've seen it. So when it hits the bottom,
so when it
the
gets the
hook
bottom,
falls
pops
off.
off, yeah.
And so I'm sitting there thinking, the sword's obviously come and knocked the rebar off, which is what he felt. Then it's come back and eaten the bait. That's what's going through my head. So he's winding. Next minute, the line angle's coming up. I thought it was about to jump, and then it didn't. And then next minute, it just goes completely slack again, and he just gets wicked free line. And I just look under the boat, and I watch the squid go under the boat, just go flying under the boat. And I was like, and so I back around real
That's your
quickly.
squid.
That's my squid, our squid. And I'm like, I said to Harry, I was like, bro, do you see the sword? And he's like, no. I was like, bro, I saw the squid. It must be tiny. I was like, it must be like a rat dog, because I could see the squid, but I couldn't see the sword. And then he's winding, and the squid hits the rod tip. Oof.
Oh.
And the squid hits the rod tip on the hook. The weight's still hanging on the hook. And we're all like, what the hell is going on here? And I'm like, where the hell's the sword? And then Harry goes, there it is, bro. And he just points to the outboard. And there's this like sea monster sitting by the outboard, attacking the outboard. And I'm like, so we're all like, what the hell is
What are we
going on?
gonna do here?
We're like, there's a sword there attacking our outboard.
And you got a calamity going on the rod.
Our hook is currently hanging at the rod tip with the weight hanging off it. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And so we drive away from it, like try to like calm down for a second, because we're like, what the hell is going on here? And then he puts some weight back on the fish. As soon as he starts putting weight back on it, the fish just swims straight back to the boat and just sits under the outboard. Hook hits the rod tip again. And so we're like, what the hell? I actually take the weight off the hook, drop the weight over the side, because I'm in a bit of a panic. So I go to take it off and drop it straight over the side. And then we try and fight this thing, and we're like trying to look at it to see what's happening. And I think at this point, the line's tangled around its tail, or like it's just wrapped up in it or something. And so the bait's actually lassoed around the main line at this point. And so we fight this thing for about 20 minutes like this, and we can't get it. Like, I'll drive away from it 100 meters. He'll put the drag on, and it'll just swim straight back to the boat and just sit under the shadow of the boat. We can see this thing for the first 20 minutes just swimming around us. And we're like, what the hell? And so I actually called my mate Hayden. I'm like, bro, I've got a situation here. Can I explain this to you? And he's like, what's that? And I was like, I've got a sea monster on. I can't drive away from it. The hook is tangled 20 meters up the main line. Anytime we put weight on it, it swims under the boat. I can't get it close enough to gaff or tag it. Yeah. Any suggestions? He's like, what?
Yeah, what?
I was like, hook's tangled around the main line, blah, blah. He's like, nah. I was like, all good. Call you back later. And then it's like 30 minutes. We can't do it like I...
You just,
I thought maybe it's tail wrap. So I tried driving away from it, thinking maybe I'll like be able to like pull it backwards or something like that. And as soon as we put weight on it, it would just swim straight back to the boat. I was like, man, I don't even know what to do. So at 30 minutes, I get the bait, untangle it off the main line, and I'm holding the squid and the hook in my hand. At 30 minutes, I'm like...
And the fish is still there.
And the fish is sitting below. I can see the sword, and I'm holding the bait. I'm like, oh, well, I just throw the hook into the water. Harry starts getting line. The rod's just like winding away, and then you can see it like banging as the weights and everything must have been going through its mouth, and then the hook just set in the corner.
In its mouth.
And then boom, and it just was just like... and just dumped like 400. I was like, now he's hooked. but again,
pitch baiting for a sword.
Again, to me, like at this point, I thought it might have been hooked in the tail. I don't know where it was.
Or just wrapped around it or something.
Because like you could see the mono around the fish, but we couldn't see that it was through its mouth or anything like that. Like it was all tangled up in the main line. And Harry actually did a wicked job, man. We caught that thing. It took us another 2 hours and 15 minutes after that to catch it. We tried to let it go, but yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes. It was hooked perfectly in the corner with the circle hook. It actually had 3 other circle hooks in its mouth. It had 2 on one side and another. It had 3 commercial hooks in its mouth. This thing was a battler, man. And it took us 2 hours 45 in total, but basically just over 2 hours of actual fight time. Got it on the leader. My old man leaded it, and we actually tagged it and cut it off and tried to let it go. And it swam off and then floated up, and then we swam it for about 20 minutes. Lost 2 gaffs. Like my old man tried to, like, when we tried to grab it one time, he put one of my gaffs around its bill.
Oh,
and the thing and the gaff just went like 20 meters in the air flying. So we lost a couple of gaffs trying to swim it, because it was quite hard to like hold it. You know, it was still quite powerful. And it after about 30 minutes of trying to revive it, it wouldn't go.
Just
We
wouldn't go.
kept it. And, it was 360 kilos, and but holding.
Like
I just remember holding the
Nicky Sinden's one.
600 grams.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, caught in the exact same place. Same place too. Funnily enough.
There must be a spot there that they just.
Yeah, no, I don't know of many other big ones there, but yeah, both. I texted her actually.
Yeah.
I was like, you beat me. I was like, 600 grams off.
That's crazy.
But yeah, cool big fish. Nice big, quick fight. And just that first 30 minutes was like, I just like none of our brains could comprehend what was going on, you know. And then the luck to throw the bait in the water at 30 minutes and.
But you've had some other pretty good days on the swords, catching multiples and.
Yep, yeah, caught quite a few during the day. And we used to catch heaps at night, you know, like our best night. We used to get, we'd get 3 a night, fishing at night and stuff like that. Yeah, I love the sword fishing. It's fun. It's you never know how big or small they're going to be. My smallest is 10.5 kilos.
Oh wow, so that's
it was like 1.2 long, including the bill.
Juvenile.
Yeah, so it could be 10 kilos or it could be 400 kilos. It's quite a cool fishery. And there's so much, like I've done it now for I don't know 15 years, and it's like I'm still learning every single time I go and do it. You know, like it's hard to know
if you're doing it right or wrong. Or well, nothing's right or wrong. Yeah,
nothing's right or wrong, but it's always I like the learning stages of everything. You know what I mean? Like I like learning how to try and be the best at it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how I become the jack of all trades, because I usually get so far at learning, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good enough at catching those, and then I'll go do something else.
But you've got a bit of a like a mindset of like growth and learning. I can get that just from talking to you this morning. You know?
Yeah. I just want to try and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, figure it out that I'm good enough that I can catch them regularly. But the sword thing is cool.
Yeah.
You know, so you can go out and you trade.
I'm yet to get one, but Injun's promised me once he gets his new boat, we're out. So
he seems to have a good knack at catching them.
Yeah. I'm somewhat looking forward to it, although.
Yeah. It's.
I hear it can be quite hard going, so...
Yeah, but that's what you want. You want the big fight, you know? That's part of the chase with them. We also catch them pretty quick. You can catch them pretty far. You can catch them in 10 minutes.
As they come up, sort of thing, yeah.
They generally are pretty disorientated when they get to the surface, and I probably catch 80% of my fish in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I prefer... Like, I look after my angler.
Yeah.
I don't know what Injun will do for you, but I'm nice to my anglers. Where
try and hurt me.
I try and get them straight away, get the leader, and then if we can get them away... straight away, I'm more than happy. But if the angler wants to fight it, we'll just let him go back down. He can fight it if he wants. Sometimes you don't get that choice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, good. Yeah. Hey, so a couple of just like quick fire questions to wrap up, I think. Yep. Yeah. First one, bait or lures?
Both. My nickname's Live Bait Luke.
Okay.
I love live baiting. Like I Marlin fish with lures. But yeah, there's something about live baiting.
And throwing one out.
Oh man, there's nothing better than holding a live skipjack. Like you can feel him like plugging away, and next minute he panics and just like eating out of the hand. It's like, man, there's nothing better than that. Yeah, cool. Same with kingy fishing. I love live baiting for kingies, although I stick bait probably 90% of the time. I've been on a stray line buzz the last month and doing heaps of stray lining, and it's like, but then I'll go back to soft baiting next month.
Yeah. If you had to choose one rod and reel for the rest of your life, combo, what do you take?
Probably a Talica 50 on a precision 80 130
so we're going
sword fishing, marlin fishing, bluefin fishing. I can catch a Pacific bluefin, southern bluefin, a yellowfin, a marlin, a swordfish. That would be my
You mentioned at the start, but is there anyone in the fishing space that you sort of look up to, or that's been a good mentor to you?
Like for me, heaps of people, you know, like in the marlin sector, like I was fortunate enough to fish with John Gregory, Bonds, and Eddie Lawler. Like those guys, as for marlin fishing, have taught me more than they probably know they have. And then probably in the game sector, those three guys have been very influential to my marlin fishing.
Cool. Is there a species that you haven't ticked off yet, or something that's on the?
Probably, like I have been fortunate enough to fish around the world and catch a lot of things.
Yep.
I have caught a black marlin, but I'd like to catch a giant black marlin. Yeah, nice. Like one of those giants would be cool. I've caught a little ones, but I'd like to do one of the giants.
Someone's joining us.
Yeah, it's about time for Yeehaa to open and sell some fishing gear.
Last question: what's your favourite fish to eat, and how do you like to enjoy it?
So for me, would be tuna, like southern bluefin. Like I've been known for taking a few of those things in the past, but that is my favourite eating fish. And tataki.
Yep.
Like I
quick
really
sear.
like it. Tataki,
Yeah,
slightly seared with a nice sauce over the top, sesame. That there over rice would be.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually did that last night with Yellowfin. Did it the night before with Yellowfin. Well, it's so
Mate,
easy.
Oh, it's such
you
a
know?
hard life for you, Luke.
It's such an easy way to eat. It's real nice.
Yeah.
Tataki.
Mate, I really appreciate you coming in early this morning and giving up your time to jump on. And massive thank you to you guys at Yeehaa Tackle. And if anyone does want, support with game fishing, you're here when you're not fishing.
Yeah, we all do heaps of game fishing, and feel free to come talk to us.
Yeah.
We're all pretty friendly,
Yeah.
and we do it all. Hopefully, we can help you in most aspects.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Luke.
Cool. No worries. Thanks, Nick.
Hey, thanks for tuning in today's show. Awesome shows coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned. And don't forget to subscribe.